This is Ian R. Crane. It's day 36 of the Balkan blockade, and for 21 of the last 36 days I have joined the people at Balkan to protest against an industry and a government that is determined to unleash chemical warfare against the population of this country. But today we have perhaps more global significance on the issue of chemical warfare. Later today, Parliament is being recalled to vote on whether or not to support the US on launching a missile attack on the people of Syria. Ostensibly, it is a retaliation attack against Assad, the leader of Syria, for supposedly launching chemical weapons on his own people. In reality, I doubt very much whether Assad is responsible for this, and an increasing number of independent analysts throughout the globe also doubt whether Assad is responsible for this attack. It is more likely that those chemical attacks were false flag. In other words, they were launched by an entity that has an interest in persuading the rest of the world that Assad was responsible for those attacks. Assad is a statesman. He's learned from his father. He knows he treads a very fine line. That fine line is primarily determined because he is outside of the Rothschilds' central banking system. 6 years ago, in 2007, General Wesley Clark, retired, gave an interview in which he stated that in the days shortly after 9/11, he was made privy to a document that stated that the act of 9/11 was going to be used as a premise to invade 7 countries. Those countries were Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan and Iran. And of course Afghanistan was already being targeted in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. That's 8 countries. The common denominator for these countries is that they were operating outside of the Rothschild central banking system. Each of these countries took responsibility for the issuance of its own money. It wasn't issuing currency as debt. It is very clear, and has been clear since 1913, that the global corporatists have a plan to dominate this planet, to take total control of all the resources on this planet. When we talk about the resources of this planet, we are also, of course, talking the human resources. And these socio-psychopathic global corporatists take great delight in making sure that they tell people what it is that they're going to do. And they work on the basis that when the people do nothing, when the people descend into apathy, or they abdicate, or just willful ignorance, that we give our permission for them to establish their global dominion. The agenda is being accelerated at a phenomenal rate of knots, and the reason being, the primary reason being, is that those who have the desire to establish their global dominion are very well aware that the human race is awakening at a phenomenal rate. Perhaps not as fast as many might like, but it is awakening exponentially. Consequently, they know that if they are going to establish their global dominion before the awakening reaches the critical mass, they have to accelerate their agenda. So what we see going on right now is the latest in this multi-pronged attack on humanity. These socio-psychopaths actually believe that humanity is constrained by compassion. Now, this observation in of itself, of course, speaks volumes. These people have no compassion. They have no humanity as we would know it. The British media is trying to ramp up support from the British public for David Cameron's desire to support Obama in his unprovoked attack on Syria. Where have we seen this before? This is the same scripts that were being trotted out by Tony Blair after he had promised George W. Bush that he would support his attack on Iraq in 2003. And the poster boy for the campaign in the UK is none other than William Hague. Now, William Hague is seriously compromised. 18 months ago, it was revealed in the Leveson inquiry that the News of the World had acquired a set of photographs for which they paid £20,000. Those photographs have never been published. Either way, it's very, very clear that William Hague is not in a position to be promoting an agenda which would take this country into yet another war. Today, the right-wing media, particularly The Sun, The Mail and The Daily Telegraph, are accusing Ed Miliband of having no backbone and failing to support David Cameron in his quest to launch this attack on Syria. In reality, Ed Miliband is, of course, doing the right thing here. Now, my agenda is completely apolitical. I have no political agenda whatsoever. My agenda is purely about the human race, and about the human race having the opportunity to evolve organically on this beautiful planet without the socio-psychopathic global corporatists wreaking their havoc, wreaking their hell, and condemning literally millions and potentially billions of people to lives of abject misery. Yesterday, one of the papers declared that the Badger cull would take 25 years. Consider the possibility that this is a euphemism as they accelerate their agenda for a culling of the global population. A statement which was cast literally in tablets of stone with the erection of the Georgia Guidestones back in 1982. So here we are, 31 years later. We're seeing a phenomenal acceleration of this hegemonic agenda. Today, British parliamentarians have an opportunity to stand up for humanity. Who, in their right human mind, could ever support the unleashing of the hell of cruise missiles, especially without having seen irrefutable evidence of who actually was responsible for launching this chemical attack in Syria? In the few hours before Parliament is recalled, I implore you to call your MP or to email your MP. Without absolute irrefutable evidence that Assad was responsible, anyone voting in favour of military intervention would surely be guilty of a heinous war crime. Ask them, I hope that you will follow the path of humanity and not support the socio-psychopaths who are determined to take the world into the madness of global conflict. Today, Thursday, August 29th, 2013, will hopefully go down in history as the day that humanity finally stood up to the agenda of the socio-psychopathic global corporatists and said enough is enough. Let's start the process. Let's reclaim our rightful inheritance, this beautiful planet. Let's do everything that we possibly can. Let's step out of apathy. Let's step out of willful ignorance. And let's demonstrate that humanity has the capacity and the capability to take back control of the planet from those who would destroy it and all life upon it. The next few hours may be critical in terms of getting this message across to MPs. So please, having watched this short video, please get on the phone, get on your computer, send those emails off. Let's make those phone lines red hot to Westminster.
I understand the frustration involved in being awake to the evil reality that surrounds us, only too well, frustration from knowing the truth.